What's going on, guys? Today we're finally making some hot sauce. Now, I know I promised you guys this video some time ago. It took me a while to get to it, but today we're doing it, and I'm going to show you how Hoggie makes hot sauce. Now, before I get started, there's a couple things I need to throw at you. For starters, anybody thinking that this is like Tabasco, you're in the wrong place, okay? This is real hot sauce made with real peppers, you know, none of that bullshit Tabasco stuff. Secondly, if you think this is going to be something that you can put in a bottle and kind of just dab and drop on your food like Tabasco, you're also in the wrong ballpark. This again is made with real peppers. You throw them in a food processor or a blender, you add some ingredients, you know, it'll end up looking something like this, okay? You know, it's going to be something that you put in a Tupperware. You know, it's going to be, I mean, you can kind of make it a little more watery if you so desire, but it's still going to be kind of thick, chunky. It's something you spoon on your food. And the beauty of doing it like this is you'll end up filling up, you know, 3, 4, 5 of these little Tupperwares. You can keep one in the fridge when you're done, you know, to use now, and freeze the rest of them. This one is still a little frozen because this is one I made with some long hots last weekend, and this is my last little Tupperware. So I just pulled it out the freezer a little while ago. So I have this one. This is green. The long hots go great with beef. It goes great with like steaks and barbecue. But this was just an example to how it works. What we're actually going to do today, today's peppers, these are a special pepper. They're hard to find. They're kind of a rarity, and that's why I'm doing it for the video. Okay? Because what we have today are Rocoto peppers. All right? Ají Rocoto. Ají means pepper in Spanish. Rocoto is the local indigenous pepper of Peru. It's a South American thing. They grow in Peru. They grow in Bolivia. In Bolivia, they're known as Locoto with an L. These are Rocoto with an R. But these are red peppers. Sadly, they cannot be found. I'm in South Florida, you know, and they cannot be found anywhere around here fresh. The closest thing I can get is this bag, frozen. It sucks that they're frozen. I'd love to be able to do this with fresh peppers, but it's the closest thing to it. So we got the frozen Rocotos. I had 2 bags. This one is still frozen. I got one that's thawed out already, obviously. They're big red peppers. And yeah, I've already had some of these. And let me give a shout out to my coworker Javier. He's from Peru. He's the one who introduced me to these peppers. He brought some sauce for us to try at lunch. And I said, holy shit, wow, it's a good sauce. Let me get some of those peppers. He told me how to find them or where to find them. And I've already made my own sauce with these once. I'm doing it again now for the video. The thing about these peppers, and I've done this sauce with habaneros, I've done it with Scotch bonnets, and I've done it with long hots. And you can pretty much do it with any pepper you like. My mom's even done a variant of it with red and yellow sweet peppers. So I mean, you can pretty much use any pepper you like and just kind of follow the same method and adjust it to your taste. The reason I want to do it with these Rocoto peppers is because these particular peppers have a flavor that I've never encountered in any other pepper anywhere. They just have a specific flavor. It's tangy. It's not like they're not Scoville scale. They're not. If like Scotch bonnets and habaneros are level 5, these guys are like level 4, like a tame level 4. I forget the actual Scoville units used to rate these, but they're not as hot, but they're much spicier than jalapenos. I mean, they're still a spicy pepper, but they have a flavor unlike anything else, which is why I like using them. They go great with a lot of different things, and if you can get your hands on them, please, trust me, try them, do something with them, because they're tasty, they're different, you know, and it's a fun experience. But as far as making the sauce, you can follow my method and pretty much use any pepper and make a sauce out of it. So, what we have is a Rocoto pepper. The ingredients I use, aside from getting a blender or food processor, which I'll break out in a second, you're gonna need some olive oil, some lemon, some garlic. You could use like that shit in a squeeze tube, that chopped, no, fuck that. You could. I like real garlic. So, some real garlic, sea salt, black pepper, and that's about it. There is one secret ingredient. If you want to bring down the heat level a bit, or if you made it too watery and you want to thicken it up a bit, saltines, the secret ingredient to the sauce. So that's about it, guys. We got some Rocoto peppers. We're going to do it the way Hoggie does it. So I'm going to do the whole camera moving thing, and we'll be back in a second, all right? So stay tuned. It's going to be fun. All right, guys. this is, you know, the most fundamental part. This is cutting up the pepper. All right, I got a little food processor. It's a little cup. Again, if you have a blender, I've done this in a blender a bunch of times too. Same thing applies. Okay, and what you want to do with any pepper, okay, and I know these don't look that great. They're a little soggy. They're a little wrinkly, but again, they were frozen. Obviously, they're going to be crisp and more firm and crunchy when they're fresh. I wish these were fresh, but they're not, but oh well. You cut off the top, and you can cut off the bottom too, wherever there's a little bit of a stem there, okay? With these guys, you know, I like to cut around the little stem piece there. Throw that away. Same goes with the top, kind of get the good flesh away from the stem. Have that there. Throw all this stuff in there. I mean, again, this is common sense stuff. Now, when it comes to peppers though, and when it comes to heat, this is a very important part, something you really need to realize. Seeds. The veins and the seeds on the inside of the pepper, and I'll show you how these look in a second, okay? These rocotos have black seeds. Habaneros, Scotch bonnets, jalapenos, finger hots, or long hots, they have white seeds, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. If you want more heat, in other words, if you want a spicier sauce, leave the seeds. If you want a milder sauce, remove the seeds. Now, to remove the seeds, if you so desire, you can basically just kind of cut around the core. Again, it varies kind of from pepper to pepper. See all that? This is all good flesh now. I can throw that in there. And see how you kind of have the core. These, since they're soggy, since they were frozen, it's not as visible with, say for example, a habanero. The core is stiffer and you can make out the veins. The veins are a lighter color. And you can actually just rip those out. Okay, something, man, these things are juicy. Wow. Alright, screw it. But basically you can just kind of rip out the seeds and veins. Okay? In this case, I'm going to leave some of these in because I like heat. And I'll just throw that core as is in there. Now, you repeat the process with all your peppers. Again, if you want heat, leave the seeds and veins in. If you want mild, remove them all. I'm actually going to make this sauce a bit milder. Mrs. Hoggie does not like super spicy food. She wanted a milder version of the sauce, and since I have another bag of these, this bag I'm making mild. The other bag, when I get around to it, I'm leaving all the seeds in there because I like heat. But anyways, that's that. I mean, just basically chop off the flesh, cut off the stem part, cut out the seeds and veins if you so desire, throw them in your little food processor blender thing, all right? And we'll get to part 2 in a second, all right? All right, so we chopped up the peppers. We threw them on a little food processor thingy, like this here. Basically just cut out the stems and cut them up a little. And again, if you so desire, remove the seeds and the veins. I left one whole, in other words, one pepper out of the 5 in the bag is going in with all the seeds and veins. Everything else has been removed. So that's that. Now, like I said, olive oil, lemon, garlic, salt, pepper, okay? We're going to start with the olive oil, and I'm running very low on olive oil. And this is an oil-based sauce. Again, this is to taste, this is kind of by feel. There's no exact measure. Just put a good amount of oil in there. And nice, healthy few pinches of salt, a black pepper. Alright, I've already chopped up some garlic. Again, this is to taste. You don't want the sauce to be too garlicky. This is what I chopped up. That's all going right in there. And finally, a little bit of lemon. Only a little bit. That's just my preference. Alright, you can see the size lemon I cut off here. You don't want to overdo it, but definitely get some lemon in there. Alright? Actually, you know what? We can squeeze it a little better. Here we go. Alright. So, what am I missing? Absolutely nothing. In the processor it goes, and we'll be back when it's all done. All right, that's been mixed up nicely. Again, if you don't have one of these things, little magic bullet wannabe kind of things, a blender works fine. I've done it in a blender a bunch of times. Anyways, you mix it up. And again, this is a trial and error thing. I've done it a bunch of times and I always have to touch it up. You know how cooking is, man. Especially when you want it to come out just right. Now, I don't know if you can make out that color. That is so nice. It's like a creamy orange with flecks of black and everything in it. It's beautiful. But now, like I said, those saltines can be an added ingredient if you overdid it and it was too watery. Or if you want to bring down the heat just the slightest notch. But I also use saltines to taste. Now consistency looks good. See how, and by the way, take a look at that. That's a lovely color. Still kind of chunky. I'll need to hit that in the machine again, but let's see. Garlic's good, lemon's good. I'm going to use a pinch more salt. Got a little salt there. And you know what? Just for sake of argument, I'll add in 2 saltines and just another dash of oil. And we put it back in the machine. You know how this goes. Give it another spin. Be right back. Alright, there you go. Now the addition of the saltines gives it kind of a lighter orangey color. I love that color though. It looks great on a hot sauce. And I don't know if you can make it out, but you can see all those little flecks. The black from the seeds, little chunks of red, little chunks of black, little chunks of green. I mean, it's colorful. I love it. Anyways, getting right to it. Let me just open this guy up. Grab a cracker. Well, that's perfect. Mrs. Hoggie might not like this. This has some heat to it, which is going to be great when I do the next bag with all the seeds, make it even hotter. But yeah, this is ready to go. So again, little Glad Tupperwares or whatever you want to use. Yeah. Fill it up like so. And there you go, guys. Rocoto hot sauce, Hoggie style. That's right. Again, you know, this will make maybe 4 of these little Tupperwares. I'll keep one in the fridge, I'll freeze the rest, and I'll have sauce for the next 2-3 weeks easy. And this goes good with a myriad of foods just because, again, this pepper has a flavor like none other. I've done this with habaneros and Scotch bonnets. I've done some that are flaming hot, and even I can't fucking eat them. But I mean, it's still a tasty sauce if you like to, like I do, you know, like we do, burritos, a lot of ground beef, a lot of shredded chicken, roll it up in a low-carb tortilla, that kind of thing, with some cheese. Because there's always like 6 different kinds of cheese in my fridge. So this with some cheese, some diced tomatoes, I mean, this just in a burrito or just maybe, you know, dabbed on top of your steak or your ground beef. I mean, this can be done, so much can be done with this. So that's how Hoggie makes hot sauce. Again, you can do it with pretty much any pepper you want. It's real simple, real easy, and I hope you guys enjoy it if you make it yourselves. Hope you had fun watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. Enjoy, take care. Oh wait, yeah, I still got a beer, so cheers.